Fall early in the morning, but there was no weapon.
It was like between 9 and 9:15.
Yeah, all quiet out
I
there.
thought I just saw. Good.
He's here. He has pneumonia.
What?
He has pneumonia.
Oh.
And he's gonna be on Zoom. He didn't want to get into a coughing spell.
Oh.
So,
He's on antibiotics and he's past the contagious phase, but he just didn't feel up to.
Oh, okay. I can understand that.
Yeah. Did you have a conversation with Deb?
Yeah, I gave her all I was looking for.
Okay.
And she's gonna open it back.
I'm sure she. I'm getting a lot of turnaround with the driveway.
good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Community to Transit Board of Directors meeting for Thursday, November 7th, 2024. I'm Mayor Roberts, Vice Chair, and I'm pitch hitting today for our chair, and who has a little bit of a cough. I think we've got him on. He's in the command room, I think. Thanks, Tom. So, Rachel, would you call the roll, please, for the board?
Councilmember Daughtry,
Present.
Mayor Frizzell,
Present.
Mayor Marine,
Present.
Councilmember Mead, Councilmember Merrill.
Here.
Great, thank you. Mayor Nearing,
Here, thank you.
thank you, Labor Representative Norton.
Here, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Peterson. Mayor Roberts,
Here.
Councilmember Schweddy.
Present.
Thank you, Chair. We do have a quorum of board members. For our board alternates, we have Councilmember Payne online and Councilmember Gallagher in the audience, and that concludes roll.
Okay, thank you. First item of business today is to have a public hearing on our reduced fare change proposal. I will first open this public hearing. Public hearing is open, and we will take public comment in the order of verbal comments first and any written comments. And let me see, we've received at this point on the reduced fare change proposal, 171 comments, 158 comments in the survey tool, 12 via social media, and 1 phone call. These comments will be packaged and provided to the board prior to the December board meeting. Verbal comments, each speaker has 3 minutes to provide comments. I think the order that we'll do will be first the in-room comments and then remote comments. And I know that we have at least one person online that wants to make a comment. So are there anybody signed up, Rachel, so far? Okay. Is there anyone in the room that would like to make a comment on the reduced fare change proposal? Okay. No comments in the room, and there are plenty of other comments, written comments. So let's go to remote comments. We have, I think, someone that's wanting to make a remote comment. So we'll take that now.
Yes, Mr. Brock Howell.
Yes.
Great. I think I'm unmuted now. Can I confirm?
Yes, you are, Rob.
Great.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. My name is Brock Howell. I'm the Executive Director of the Snohomish County Transportation Coalition, or Snowtrack. Snowtrack works with the public and decision makers in Snohomish County and beyond to create and connect affordable, age and ability-friendly communities for all people. We're very fortunate to have representation on our board from Community Transit, as well as Everett Transit, and a number of our nonprofit transportation human service providers. I provided written public comment during the last fare change discussion, so I haven't provided a written comment this time, just providing these oral comments, but our last comment letter urged for a consistency in how we do our fares with our neighboring transit agencies. And one of the things that we requested was specifically this change of shifting the amount of the fare for low-income people with disabilities, seniors, down to $1. And so on all, that is great. It is consistent with the coordinated mobility plan for the region, which calls for strategy 5.1 specifically calls for simplifying fares across our agencies. and with Snowtrack strategic plan that the board just adopted a couple months ago. So that is fantastic. The second piece that we had suggested in our first comment letter was actually reducing the fare for DART. And the reason is that there is a high correlation with of people with disabilities with also being low income, and that the cost of transportation is a significant barrier for them. And currently the fare for community transit is higher than Metro and Everett Transit. And so there's an opportunity there to look at that issue as well, to see if we can have parity with our adjoining transit agencies. All in all, though, very thankful for the direction proposed by the agency, which is consistent with regional policy and Snowtrack's strategic plan.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Howell, for your comments. We appreciate them. Is there anybody else online? If you would like to make a comment, please raise your hand online. We'll try to look for that. See no more raised hands. All right, we'll close the public hearing then on the reduced fare change proposal. And we'll just go right into our second public hearing, which is a public hearing for the 2025 proposed budget. This hearing is now open. And let me see, comments received. There's no comments, written comments to date, right? They love our budget. So none's really even commented. Any comments that we do receive will be packaged back into the board packet and prior to the December board meeting. And so we will go then to verbal comments. Each speaker has 3 minutes to provide these comments. We'll start with in room, and Peter Micah is here. Hi, Peter. Come on up, and would love to hear from you. You have 3 minutes, and that's from the time you get there. So
Get there. Check test 1, 2. Good afternoon, board directors and fellow. My name is Peter Micah. I'm from Community Transit. I've been here 29 years. I got to give kudos to everyone, the whole link light rail, all the upgrades throughout the system, concerning drivers in the bathrooms, ADA compliance. Yet there is 2 that need to be addressed, and that's Smoky Point and Mariner Park and Ride. There may be another one, but for ADA compliance, I operate out of the Smoky Point, and it's getting really congested there with the 905, 907, a lot of upgrades from 40 footers to 60 footers coming in. So it's really crowded. There's like 10 minutes, if that, turnaround time to come in and go. And with one bathroom that's, I think it's, well, at least 30 years old. I just request that you take a look at that, maybe for the budget, set aside some funds, get some upgrades for ADA compliance for us drivers there. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for your time, and have a good day. Like Mr. Rogers says, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
yes, it is.
Thank you.
Peter, right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate your comments. Are there any other citizens or anyone in the room that would like to comment? Make a public comment? See anybody racing to the podium? So what about remote comments? Do we have anybody online, Rachel, that wants to make a comment online? One there. And if there is anyone that wants to raise their hand, we might just give them a moment to see if you'd like to make a comment in your remote to raise your hand. So, all right. So it looks like we have no remote comments at this time. So I'll close the public hearing on the proposed 2025 proposed budget now. And that leads us to public comments. So let me see. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to provide comments. We'll start with in-room comments. And are there any signed up? Rachel, we're just moving right along here with our meeting. Okay. Anybody in the room that's not signed up that would like to make a comment? All right. Any remote comments? So we really got shy people today. So, all right. No. Yeah. So, board, you guys want to make any comments? So, okay. Well, then we will. What's that? What's that? Public comment? Okay, board communications thing. I've got my helper here, just gonna walk me through this. Okay, I will close public comments then. And thank you very much. And presentations, none planned. And that leads us to Chief Executive Officer's report. CEO.
Ready to go?
All yours.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It is a beautiful day, and so hopefully we can get through our business today expeditiously and see a lovely sunset. So we'll start my report with update on state and federal affairs. And the big news of the week, I think everybody knows, is we had an election. And some things changed and some didn't. We will see a change of administration back in the nation's capital next year. And it's a little too early at this point to speculate as to how that might affect the programs we partner with FTA on, but we'll obviously be watching that very closely, and we'll be aided in that by the fact that our congressional delegation did not change. So Senator Cantwell and Representatives Larson, Del Bene, Schreier, and Jayapal were reelected, and that's fantastic because we've had great relationships working with them. So we will look forward to continuing those relationships and continuing to partner with the federal government. At the state level, congrats to Board Member Peterson, who won his state house reelection campaign, and to all of the representatives and senators around Snohomish County. We have strong supporters across the board who did well on Tuesday, so we look forward to continuing to partner with them in Olympia come January. Speaking of which, our legislative agenda for the upcoming session was included in your packet, and we reviewed that with the executive committee a couple of weeks ago, so that's available for your review. And of course, we'll use that in Olympia to articulate our priorities in terms of SWIFT expansion and transit support grants and the like. We are expecting that funding will again, along with safety and security, be top issues in the state capitol, and we're well positioned to engage with our delegation on those. As you know, we had been watching closely Initiative 2117. We had about $200 million in our financial plan riding on the outcome of that. And obviously, we got a positive outcome there for our financial plan. So we will not have to be scrambling to find a way to plug a big hole in our budget going forward. So that's great. At the regional level, Peter mentioned the one line, the light rail startup. Some of you may have seen and heard that Sound Transit has had an array of sporadic electrical and mechanical issues on link since startup, most of which seem to be concentrated down in North Seattle between the Roosevelt and Husky Stadium stations. I have been in direct touch with my counterpart there, Jaron Sparman, and he is making it his top priority to get to the bottom of what's happening. They have 3 different forensic evaluation efforts underway. They're looking through all their maintenance history. They're looking at all of the as-builts, and they've got a systems consultant looking to see that they're getting consistent performance from all of their systems and trying to figure out what's going on there. That said, they're still making over 90% of their scheduled trips and close to 95% of their scheduled trips during the peak hour. So we are on this and watching it very closely. Roland's in touch with his counterparts, as is Melissa, and we will keep you posted. I'm flagging this because it's been in the news, but also because we are hearing from some of our customers about it. And I suspect you probably are as well. That said, looking at our system, ridership continues to maintain steady year-over-year growth. We are seeing 22% increase year-over-year from last October. And that's holding steady since the start of light rail. And we're seeing it in all modes, but in particular with Swift and local bus. So that's fantastic. And we'll obviously keep monitoring and reporting on that. We did see in that number is the customary seasonal bump in ridership that comes every September. There's real growth on top of that of about 10%. So it's encouraging to see. There's more details on that in my written report. Lastly, on the service front, Innovative Services, we're continuing to work toward December 17th launch date for 3 microtransit services in Lake Stevens and in Arlington and in Darrington. So we're on track to deliver those startups as planned. And we'll be visiting the city councils in each of those jurisdictions this month to celebrate. So that should be fun. That's our last big set of deliverables for the year, and we're on track to do so. Couple notes here on agency operations. So we've got the zero emission pilot project underway. Our battery electric bus is out in revenue service. It's been on a number of different routes, so you may have seen it out there. I've seen it out there. That's kind of great. Our fuel cell bus is fueled and ready to roll. We are still working through some issues on fuel delivery with our fuel contractor. So our goal is to get that out on the road this month. We continue to have technical issues with some of the components around the fuel delivery system. So we'll keep you updated on that, but we're fingers crossed we'll get that bus out on the road alongside its battery electric counterpart this month, before the end of the year at any rate. We just had a hearing on the budget, and we'll be bringing that back through the Finance, Performance, and Oversight Committee for final review, and the board for possible action at the December board meeting. So we're looking forward to that. A couple of activities to flag this morning. Deb and I and our procurement team were all down at the Linwood Event Center as part of the annual North Puget Sound Contracting Conference. And I had the honor of kicking things off with a little bit of a talk about community transits programs and introducing Mike Fong, who's the state director of Commerce and Economic Development. There was a packed house. I talked to the head of AGC, Lance. He said registrations and attendance at the conference this year were back to pre-pandemic levels. And just from observed looking at the room, I could attest to that. It was a good crowd. So that's part of our effort to engage the private sector in the work that we do in our capital program and in our procurement of goods and services. I want to do a special recognition. We have a special employee in the room, Michelle Flatt. She was nominated this year for a very special award, Washington Women in Trades and Tradeswoman of the Year. She was a finalist. She did not win the award, but Michelle is so awesome that we wanted to flag the fact that she was nominated and that she makes a huge contribution to the work we do here every year. Yeah. Michelle is a Journey Parts person, and she basically oversees the inventory of all of our parts over at Hardison Road. So if you need a nut or a washer or a bolt or a hose or a wire or a filter or a special fitting, she is the person with her team who keeps those buses on the road. So she's relatively indispensable to us. She's well liked by her colleagues. She's very deserving of this award, and I hope to see her renominated next year. So anyway, I wanted to recognize Michelle, and Michelle, you're welcome to say hello or just give a wave from over there. Sure. Come on up. We don't get to hear too often from our parts and procurement group, so.
Good. Okay. Honestly, it's just an honor to continue to be able to make an impact at community transit. And the fact that I was just nominated means a lot to me. It makes me feel appreciated and respected for the impact that I'm making here. And it makes me feel like a winner every day. So thank you. I have amazing customers with our maintenance department, and I get to work with an amazing team. So I honestly couldn't be happier. So thank you very much for the recognition. I appreciate it.
I think there's a special final presentation at the back of the room.
Oh, that's sweet. How sweet is that?
I'll wrap up today with recognition that Monday is Veterans Day, and we honor our veterans every year, and we present them with a commemorative coin. And I've heard a rumor that there's going to be special hats passed out as well over in transportation to our veterans. So we want to recognize our veterans and thank them for their service here and to the country. And Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Rick. Are there any questions by board members concerning our CEO's report today? Very well. We'll move on then to committee reports. And I'll read the executive committee report today. The executive committee met on October 17th. Mayor Frizzell, Chair Merrill, Councilmember Sweaty, and I attended. The CEO report, as was shared just a moment ago, was provided and the draft legislative agenda was discussed. An executive session was held to review the performance of a public employee. And the next committee meeting is scheduled for November 21st at 11:30 a.m. And I'd like to have Councilmember Sweaty read the Finance Performance and Oversight Committee report.
Okay, this has been a while. The Finance Performance and Oversight Committee met on October 17th, 2024 in a Zoom format. Councilmember Mead, Mayor Nearing, Mayor Roberts, and I attended. The committee consent items, the committee reviewed and recommended one item to the consent agenda, and that is the approval of the September 2024 monthly expenditures and payroll vouchers, items 9C through H on the consent agenda. Action items, the committee reviewed and recommended one item to the action agenda to award RFP 2024-080 for uniforms and accessories. Information items, the committee was briefed on two information items, the proposed 2025 budget and the proposed administrative pay plan changes. Reports, we got a report from for Q3 2024 from the Transit Police Report. Lieutenant Mark Richardson, Snohomish County Sheriff's Office presented the Q3 2024 Transit Report. A copy of this report is included in your packet. Q3 Safety and Security Updates. Bobby White, Assistant Manager, Security Services, presented the Q3 2024 Safety and Security Update Report. Sales Tax Report for September unaudited. In September 2024, Community Transit collected approximately $17.4 million in sales tax revenue, approximately $403,000 less than budgeted. A copy of this report is included in your packet. Diesel fuel update. The average cost year to date through September 2024 was $2.93 per gallon, while the average cost per gallon budgeted for 2024 was $4.25. This resulted in a favorable variance of $1.32 per gallon year to date through October. The next Finance Performance and Oversight Committee is scheduled to meet 2:00 Thursday, November 21st, 2024 via Zoom.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Sweaty. Appreciate you doing that. And that leads us on to Mayor Frizzell for the Strategic Alignment and Capital Development Committee report.
Thank you. The Strategic Alignment and Capital Development Committee meeting was held remotely over Zoom on October 16th at 2:00. The meeting was attended by myself, Council Member Daughtry, Mayor Marine, Council Member Peterson, and Labor Representative Norton. The committee reviewed and forwarded one consent item to today's agenda, and that is award ITB number 2024-116, purchase of transit security officer vehicles. Meeting was over 14 minutes after it started, so nice and brief. The next meeting for the Strategic Alignment and Capital Development Committee is scheduled for Wednesday, November 20th at 2:00.
Thank you, Mayor Frizzell. Appreciate that. And that leads us on to consent items on our agenda.
I'll move approval of those.
Okay.
Second.
Been moved by Mayor Naring and Mayor, hello, what's your name? Mayor Marine, my good friend. Thank you. So we have, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda items pass unanimously. Thank you. Leads us on to action, or one action item. Award RFP 2024-80 uniforms and accessories. And Roland B. is going to introduce Kathy Jackson. So, Roland.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I wanted to introduce Kathy just by way of introduction. So Kathy is the operations coordinator in our transportation department, which is an important role, one of the ones that really helps to keep things moving forward every day. One of the things I just want to mention is, as Kathy's preparing for her presentation, is the uniforms are a pretty critical part of the operation. When you think about this, this is a big deal for hundreds of our employees in terms of it's something that they put on every day. And it's actually a really important part of the job, and there's strongly held feelings around it. And I just want to introduce it from that perspective in terms of one of the things that Kathy is really good at is being a really good ear and balancing a lot of strong input from many groups, and then also very carefully balancing that with the needs of the procurement process and what we need to do from a business perspective. So I just want to commend her for that and the wisdom that she brings to that process. And I'll leave it in her hands to bring the presentation forward.
Thank you, Roland. This will be short and sweet, I promise. So we currently provide uniforms to approximately 500 employees in the transportation department. See, does that just take a minute or should I try one more time? There it goes. Thank you. We have 3 work groups. We have our coach operators, transportation supervisors, both in the field and in-house, and then our 17 dispatchers. So we offer a variety of items for them to pick from, and our goal is always to provide a lot of options for them so that they can pick things that are comfortable for them and that they find attractive and functional. We offer sizing from extra small to 6X. So that always adds some challenges when it comes time to go out for bid. A lot of the items that are worn by these 3 groups are the same items, but each one of those groups does have a unique color that is specific to that work group to make them identifiable to their peers and to the public as well. So we want our employees to be proud of the uniform they wear, and we want people out in the public to know when they see one of our drivers that that is a CT driver. So our current contract expires next week with Galls. We have been with them for 5 years now. And so back in March, knowing that this was coming, we gave our employees a chance to express their interest in serving on the uniform team that would help develop the specifications for the new RFP. There was a lot of interest. I think we had probably at least 40 people that put their name in the hat. So we did a random drawing and we selected 3 operators, 1 dispatcher, and 1 supervisor to serve on the team, along with myself and Michelle from Procurement. So they met regularly. They created a really great survey, which they administered to their peers in a 2-day hallway event down in the zone. And I think we had about 225 of our peers stop and actually take the survey on a laptop. And so we were able to collect a lot of really great information from them about what they like, what they dislike, what they'd like to see in a new contract. So then that team took all that feedback back to our desks and just researched our options, did some independent evaluations. Or sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Took the information back, came up with the specifications for the RFP, and released the RFP in June. Then we received the 2 proposals, one from Galls, the company that we're with now, and then one from Dawn's Group Attire, which is the company that we were actually with prior to Galls, so very familiar with our employees. Then we did our independent evaluations of those 2 proposals and scored them in areas such as experience and technical capability, and then came together as a team to discuss our individual scores, compare notes, and then do some additional scoring of the products themselves, and then compare the pricing between the 2 proposals. So at the completion of our evaluation, we determined that that Dawn's Group Attire had scored higher than Galls, and that they were best able to fit our needs. And so that brings us to our, the breakdown of how we got to this $960,000 figure. This slide shows how we came up with that. We base our allotment each year on a very specific number of items, 1 parka, 6 pants, and 5 shirts. So we based this, we came up with these figures based on what those items are going to cost. We also do half allotment years during the odd years and full allotment years during the even years. So that's why you see that kind of yo-yoing each year. And then we also factored in about 15% of unspent allotment that we have each year that just goes unspent, and that's pretty standard. So, so that's what brings us to then our final recommendation, which is that the Board of Directors negotiate and award this contract to Dawn's Group Attire for a not to exceed amount of $960,000 for a 5-year period.
Okay,
Mm.
Kathy, thank you so much.
welcome.
Are there questions from board members? Councilmember Sweatty?
Yes, I noticed that you did not have, prices from both of them. Was there a difference in how much, the one we've got right now and Dawn's were?
Are you referring to the slide with the breakdown?
Well, no, I'm referring to the fact that you show 961. And normally when we have two people bidding, we see both of the prices, not just one. So was there a
This
difference
is,
in cost?
well, this is just kind of our best guess as to how much of the how much our allotment is going to be each year, not necessarily what we will spend, but I don't know if Michelle in procurement can elaborate on that.
So I thought we
She'd
said
probably be better at answering that question. Whoops.
I'm pretty loud.
Okay.
Okay, so if I understand your question correctly, you wanted to know if Gall's pricing was higher than Dawn's, and was that part of the proposal evaluation? Is that correct?
Well, yes, because normally when we do an RFP, we see those.
Okay,
numbers.
for an RFP, it's not just price, but that is definitely consideration. And when the pricing structure was laid out, Gall's was higher than Dawn's on the overall pricing for the items. You have to understand that there are sizes extra small to 6X, so that's quite a broad variety, and it's a full spreadsheet with all of the options that are available between all the jackets and the shirts and all that. So there wasn't a single price to say this is how much Gall's is and this is how much Dawn's is. So we did an aggregate and compared it to our independent government cost estimate that goes into all of these procurements so that we kind of know what the market is. Which is based upon our current spend with Gall's and also other agencies in the area, what they spend on theirs. In the end result, Dawn's was lower in price, but it came down to more factors than that. It came down to the samples that were provided, the quality, excuse me, the quality of the materials, as well as, I'm sorry, I've got a little catch in my throat. As well as the qualifications, the customer service, and all of the other technical aspects that went into the evaluation. Does that
Okay,
answer your question?
Thank you.
Okay.
Good question, good answer. Thank you. Other board members have questions, comments about this?
You want a motion?
I want a motion.
All right. I recommend that the Board of Directors authorize the CEO to negotiate and award contract RFP 2024-080 for uniforms and accessories to Dawn's Group Attire for a not to exceed amount of $960,000 for 5 years.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion made by Mayor Marine and seconded by Mayor Frizzell. Any maker of the motion? Do you have anything you want to say to us about it? Okay. Any other questions about it? All those in favor of awarding RFP 2024-80 uniforms and accessories to, who was it?
Dawn's Group Attire.
Signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Appreciate your explanations, your help on that. All right, that leads us to the chair's report and kind of pitch hitting for Chair Merrill here, but I'll take a shot at a couple of comments. I did want to say that I went down and got my, I know I don't look like I'm old enough, but I qualify for the senior Orca card, and I did go down and get that changed out. It wasn't too big of a problem. I did it down at Everett Transit Center there. So that was, I would look, it'd be wonderful. I know it's more than community transit or Orca card. It's not just us, but it'd be wonderful if that was just an automatic thing. You know, if we had your birthday in there, you didn't have to do that, but we did it. We enjoyed it. And so that's that. Board members, this is time of the year that the CEO annual evaluation, close your ears, is conducted. An email will route to the full board with evaluation materials. An executive session on this topic will be scheduled for our next regular board meeting, which will take place December 5th, 2024. So we'll be discussing that in executive session. Okay, that's all I have for the chair's report. On to board communications. Let's start over here with Councilmember Daughtry.
I'd like to thank Community Transit for participating in the Chamber, Lake Stevens Chamber's job fair. Thank you very much. I know it wasn't well attended this time. We tried a couple of different things and wasn't as successful as we thought, but we're going to make some changes for next year and see if we can get better. But thank you very much. We appreciate it. And also for the sponsorship.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Marine.
Nothing other than just say, you know, it's nice to see the employees being recognized. And I just want to say that the Mukilteo park and ride lot our bathrooms are fine. We don't have any problems with ADA at all. Yeah, so that's all good.
You're in the bushes.
Yes, right. The bushes right there in the trees at the hide and ride lot. But seriously, and just a big thank you to all of our veterans, Veterans Day coming up, so.
Councilmember Sweaty, anything for us today?
Not really. Survived Halloween.
Okay. I thought you were going to say the election. But anyway, you survived it. You don't survive the election. Okay. All right, Mayor Frizzell.
We love that everybody loves to ride light rail. We are having some compression issues in our parking lot. So big push. I've talked to Rick about it. I've talked to Jerron Sparman. Ride the bus to the light rail station. And that'll help us all survive it a bit easier. But it's great. Ridership is up. People are getting to where they want to be, whether it's to work or to grandma's house or to a Huskies game. We're just really happy that our community all throughout Snohomish County is coming to Linwood. So be sure you take some time afterwards to visit our restaurants and our activities there. And, you know, you could even move closer and you could live within the ZIP area and you could just ride ZIP to and from light rail. So we have so many opportunities in Linwood to take care of you. Thank you.
Mayor Marine, can you top that? Excuse me. Hello. First day on the job.
All right.
Mayor Naring. Thank you.
It's an honor to be thought of as Mayor Marine. No, thank you. Yeah, I actually experienced, when I read that Herald article, I drove the entire garage and was unable to find a spot one day, but that's fine. It was actually, it was fun to see that it was being used so well. I was a little curious, I know this is outside of our lane, but just the strategy around transit, when you think of, well, the lot's always full, so let's tack a $2 charge on. And in my mind, I think, well, that just means that people that don't want to pay $2 aren't going to use it anymore. You're just shifting out riders, right? Is it now? I suppose you could say, well, no, that'll motivate those people to take a bus, but then they got to pay for the bus too to get there. So I'm just curious as to why that would be the strategy. Not that it pertains to our business here, but it just seemed like, I don't know.
Since it does not pertain to our business here, how about we take that offline?
Yeah, that'd be good.
There certainly are discussions being had at Sound Transit and we're trying to find that that sweet spot where we're getting people to where they want to be. Yeah. And there's lots of factors, like how are you going to, we'll talk offline. When we get some answers, we'll bring it back.
No, it's good. I mean, we are more and more one network, but the key thing is it's great it's being used. Obviously, the need and the demand is there. It's great to see our region using transit of all sorts, including, of course, ours.
Describe the local park and ride.
Yeah, and then come over, yeah. And come over, yeah. And congratulations, Michelle. That's really awesome to see that. Great job. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor Naring. Let me see here. Labor Rep Lance Norton.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lance. We'll go online, and that would include Chair Merrill. Do you have comments for us today?
Not very much, but my congratulations also to it goes out to the award banquet and so on. And also thank you to Sid for stepping in for me today. Thank you.
Okay, my senioritis, I heard, but I think that.
Thank you, Sid.
Oh, thank you, Sid. That is awesome. Thank you, Tom. We appreciate that. Let me see. We have Susan Payne on from City of Edmonds. You have comments for us today?
Oh, just, I hope that everyone has a wonderful Veterans Day, and I thank the veterans for their service, and thanks for the short meeting today.
Okay. Let me see,
Nothing more.
we got in the house, Councilmember Mike Gallagher, anything for you? Nothing for you today? Any other folks online? I think that would be it, right? For board members and alternates. Okay, thank you, board, for that. We have no executive session today. Is there other business for the agency today? Yes, one comment, okay.
Mr. Chair, sorry, one additional comment. I skipped over on my CEO report that I wanted to flag for the board. I mentioned the zero emission side-by-side pilot getting up and going. And I mentioned the innovative services starting up in our 3 new communities in December. I wanted to flag for you the January quarterly board workshop. We'll be receiving updates from the zero emission team at that workshop on the status of the pilot project, and also on the analysis and the study we've been doing of our implementing our extended interim strategy, which would be over the next 5 to 6 years. So that'll be a very important and timely workshop. We'll also have a briefing from the planning and innovation team on how we're approaching incorporating microtransit into our regular service planning, which will form the basis of our strategy for looking county-wide at innovative services. So anyway, just putting in a plug for January 16th board workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Are there any other business items for the good of the agency from the board today? Seeing none, I will, if you guys are okay with this, I'll adjourn the meeting at 3:40. Thank you. Are you not? You're not? Okay, thank you.
Really well-run meeting.
Oh, well, nice and quick. Yeah, I just